Tennessee's transfer portal future. Will it result in great success? Will it result in a modicum amount of success? You're going to have to find better words, Caleb. Or are you concerned about the transfer portal? So Tennessee only has one transfer portal player in now, but that's not surprising. That usually happens this month. So, Caleb, let me get your thoughts. And I know you've read my column, and that's on offthehooksports.com. But let me get your thoughts as far as Tennessee in the transfer portal. Let's do it this way. How about the poll question will be this? How much faith do you have in Josh Heupel to build a strong transfer portal class? So, Caleb, where would you rank on that? What are your thoughts? Where will Tennessee end up when we're all transfer portaled out? Where will the Vols end up?
So let's talk the two layers of the transfer portal here. And by the way, the poll question I set up is this: Tennessee's transfer portal will end in great success, modest success, or concern. There's two parts to the transfer portal, Dave. It's not just who you add.
That's probably the first and last time you've used modicum this week. Go ahead.
I said modest. I did not say modicum. I said modest. Okay. It's not just who you add. It's who you lose. And I want to say up front, so in case you didn't notice, Tennessee lost 3 transfers to Florida State over the weekend. Players who hit the portal: Squirrel White's now at Florida State, Jason Jenkins, and I believe one other. You guys can correct me on the message board who it is. The freak out over the portal has been insane. With the exception of Squirrel White, Dave, who did Tennessee lose that you thought had a chance of starting next year?
Well, nobody. And let's keep in mind that Squirrel White had a very troublesome shoulder. So I'm not saying that they let him go because of medical, but that shoulder injury never went away. And Caleb, they kept playing him like they weren't concerned for long term. I'm not saying they showed him the door, but I don't think they're having a crying session because he's gone.
Exactly. And there's nobody they're having a crying session because they're gone. There's about 17 players now who have entered the portal. Not one of them is going to be worth a crying session. They've added one player.
Squirrel's the closest. Squirrel's the closest,
Squirrel's
right?
the closest. Yes.
Especially because Tennessee only has what? 3 scholarship. They got 3 scholarship receivers
and 3
right now, and they got 3 coming in.
Yes. It was a blow over the weekend when Zacharias Branch committed to Georgia. That was. Tennessee wanted him, the USC transfer receiver. But they're still fine. Also, Dave, let's just take it. We just bring Squirrel White, Wendell Moe. Would you not take that trade? Lose Squirrel White, pick up Wendell Moe to fill up a guard position when you're losing 2 guards?
I would not. You know, I may differ on that. Because of Tennessee's lack of depth at receiver, I would not take Wendell Moe over Squirrel White. I see where you're going, but I can't roll with you on that one quite.
Yeah, see, I'm breaking with you. I would absolutely take Wendell Moe over Squirrel White. Now, let's talk about
For those that don't know, how good is Wendell Moe as far as he's considered in the transfer?
He was all Pac-12 as a freshman. He played this year a little bit banged up, and it was in a new system at Arizona State. At Arizona. It was a lot of things were going wrong in the system he was in this year. He had bad coaching, and so it was not the system he committed to. So I think Wendell Moe is going to be totally fine when he comes to Tennessee. So that's a fair trade-off. Guys, I'm saying all this to quote the great Aaron Rodgers, who's no longer great.
When you said great, I thought you were going to quote me for a second. Go ahead.
No. Great Aaron Rodgers, when he was great. R-E-L-A-X. Relax.
Chill. Take a Xanax.
Exactly. It's going to be fine. Josh Heupel has proven himself in the portal to this point, and Dave's got a column right now up on Off the Hook Sports that you need to read. Heupel's history in the portal, he's gotten better year to year. We can say what we want this past year. Heupel actually hit gold in the portal last year. There was a reason Tennessee's secondary went from the worst in the SEC to one of the top 3 in the SEC overnight. Heupel went right for the players.
You just said something that rubbed me the wrong way. Nothing personal. Hit gold is almost like a 49er going to California and getting lucky. I think that the organizational skills by Josh Heupel, I don't think he hit gold. I think he hit a home run. Gold implies luck.
Well, if you study the Gilded Age, Dave, those 49ers who said they hit gold, they were like, no, we were smart and we earned the gold that we struck. Just like Jerry Jones thinks that Jerry Jones thinks he struck oil because he's smart. You know that, right?
Okay, but last year wasn't luck. Can we agree there?
No, it wasn't.
Okay,
Hypo knew where to dig. Hypo knew where to dig.
Okay, let's take a look. All right, so class number 1 I'm counting 2022 because 2021 was half assembled by Jeremy Pruitt, and you're really hamstrung from the get. So look at 2022. Who did Tennessee get? Brew McCoy. Did he work out?
Yeah, I think he worked out pretty good.
Andre Turrentine, did he work out?
He's working out.
He started several games last year, so I would have to say that's a win, even if he never played again. But anyway, Gerald Mincey, that work out?
It worked out when he played at Tennessee. I mean, we can't deny that he was a rotational player on the 2022 offensive line.
And I'm not including losing them moving forward, okay? I'm just saying you evaluated them, you went out and got them, okay? And you competed against the best programs in the nation, and you got them. That's a win to me. It's kind of like if you if Nico won a national championship, decided he was going to take a year off to go to the NFL. Doesn't matter. You've won a championship, okay? All right, now, moving forward, how about the 2023 class? Gabe Judy Lawley, win?
Yes, definitely a win.
John Campbell Jr., win?
Relative, struggled this year, but I'll still say win.
To me, a transfer that starts is a win, no matter how they play.
Okay, well then, if that's the case, if that's your standard, it's a win. I think that's a stupid standard, Dave. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, well, I just mean,
do you think DJ Ogunlele was a win for Florida State?
No. I just think you had a hold of Phil, so you addressed the need. I'm not saying that he deserves a star on his contract. I'm just saying you addressed a need as a starter.
I think you're giving him a golden noodle star, Dave.
Golden noodle star. All right, Omar Norman Lott, win. This is the 2023 class.
Huge win.
Dante Thornton Jr., win.
Win.
Keenan Pili, win.
Yeah, we'll say win. Would have been a bigger win had he not gotten hurt, but still a win. For just
I would argue that's the biggest win in this group. He just got hurt. Offensive lineman Andre Kuric.
Shockingly a win. I wouldn't have said that last year.
He's come along. Yeah, I wouldn't have said it last year either. Charles Campbell in the 2023 class.
He worked out at kicker. He did.
Yep. Okay. Now, Tennessee currently still has out of that class Jackson Moy. Win?
A huge win.
Okay. I mean, I'm giving you this group of people that I'm giving you with Josh Heupel and who he signed in 2023. I'm giving you a group of players that is arguably more impactful on a program than any class that Philip Fulmer has ever signed as far as year number 1. Okay. Miles Kitselman, win?
Definitely a win.
No doubt. Maybe the most surprising win out of the group. Would you agree?
Yep.
Okay. Chris Brazel II.
Win. Definitely a win.
No doubt. Jermod McCoy.
A home run.
Jacoby Thomas.
That's a grand slam, actually.
Yeah, I agree. Jermod McCoy, their slugging percentage to me is about .580. All right, defensive back Jacoby Thomas.
I'd actually say a win. He played a lot this year. He was relatively in the rotation.
I agree. We're on the same page. That's a win. Holden Stays.
Not a win, but not a loss, because he signed Miles Kitselman and Holden Stays and was like, one of them's going to play and the other one's going to transfer, and Miles Kitselman won the job. That's how that worked out.
Okay, but it allowed them to play two tights, too. They couldn't play 12 personnel unless they had two very competent, really three competent tight ends. Sorry?
Two tights.
I'm sorry?
I said two tights.
Yeah, two tights. But when you add Ethan Davis into that, it allowed them to play 12 personnel. And I don't think that they beat Oklahoma without 12 personnel. So to me, Holden Stays resulted in a win. That's a win.
Okay. That's a win.
Okay, so now let's take a look at the 2024 transfers because, again,
a lot of those were 2024 transfers that you mentioned. think your years are off. Holden Stays transferred last year, and Miles Kitzman. Sorry, I think we mixed up 2023 and 2024.
Okay, sorry, I may have misspoke here. All right, so that was okay. So when you look at these players and the impact that they had, you also have Jackson Moy, who could still be a factor. Kitzelman is back. McCoy is a lockdown corner. Brazel obviously is key because they don't have receivers. Now, that's the 2024 class.
And then Lance Hurd, too.
And Lance Hurd. I left out Lance Hurd. So,
yeah.
I mean, okay, did Alabama fans have faith in Nick Saban that he was going to recruit well and that he was going to win championships? Yes. I think you're to the point where you need to have faith that Josh Heupel is going to put together an incredible transfer class. And I think part of that's because of culture, and Caleb used to make fun of me for that, but I'm trying to change that. All right, let's take a look at some transfers that Tennessee is in on. And we'll do that right now. And it's today's tough question. Repeat the poll question that's on the YouTube page.
Tennessee's transfer portal will end in great success, modest success, concern.
All right, it's brought to you by Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn. Why Banks & Jones? Well, it's because they're Tennessee's trial attorney. You can play to win with Banks & Jones because they'll go to trial. You've heard of other lawyers. They say they'll go to trial and fight for you. They won't. They just want to settle. That's the easiest way out. Well, that's not Banks & Jones, led by T. Scott Jones. They won't settle. They'll go to trial for you. Tennessee's trial attorney. They play to win. Truly, Tennessee's trial attorney when it comes to criminal defense or personal injury. Why settle? It's Banks & Jones. T. Scott Jones. All right, so give us a reset on the poll question. Where do we stand on that?
The poll question is Tennessee's transfer portal will end in great success, modest success, concern. And you want to see what's leading?
Yes.
Modest success at 59%. Number 2 is great success at 19. I'm sorry, number 2 is concern at 22%. Great success is 3 at 19%.
Okay, you know what I think the worst vote is there? Is
what?
Medium success. I think you either think based off of the history that he is going to have success, or you're afraid that the program has slipped and he's not. To me, the right down the middle is the worst answer.
What you're saying is people who answer right down the middle are scared. Dave's calling you guys out.
I'm not calling anybody out.
Dave's calling everybody out. We heard you, Dave. We heard you, Dave. You think they're scared. You can say it.
Scared. You ain't nothing but scared. I ain't never been scared. You probably never heard that saying. Well, you were raised in the South. Have you heard I ain't never been scared?
Yes.
That's usually right before a fight. And then you say, hold my beer. All right. So
a lot of rappers say that too. I ain't never been scared.
Oh, well, us Southern people started it. Okay. So Caleb,
it's typically Southern rappers who say it.
Okay. Well, we can share. I mean, I don't mind. You can take my words. I'll take yours. I'm not going to take that one word that I'm not supposed to say. All right, Caleb. All right, Caleb. What do you got, buddy? Who are some prospects that Tennessee is in after?
So obviously one of the ones that they missed out on over the weekend is Zacharias Branch, who ended up going to Georgia. Some other Tennessee targets recently, we're looking at it. There is David Gusta, the defensive lineman from Washington State. It's a guy they're trying to use to replace Omar Norman Lott. That would be a big one for them. I'm
told they're in very good shape for him.
Really? Okay, interesting. Zion Branch. Zion Branch committed with Zacharias Branch to Georgia. Excuse me. Malik Benson is a guy they're targeting out of Florida State. They go back to 2022 when the Vols were among the contenders for the number 1 ranked junior college transfer. He ended up choosing Alabama, and then he ended up transferring to Florida State. So That's the guy Tennessee's looking at. Amari Jefferson's still the big one. They're really going hard after Amari Jefferson. So we're going to see how that ends up. And yet a big one that no one's talking about is, you're going to love this, Dave, a South Dakota State transfer. Now, what's relevant about that?
Josh Heupel's from South Dakota.
He is from South Dakota. Angel Johnson, a running back. They're looking at bringing him in to offset the loss of Dylan Sampson. He's 5'9", 195 pounds, from Viborg, South Dakota. I'm sorry to make jokes, but he's probably the only black person who lives in South Dakota. I mean,
well, I was just thinking to myself that Josh Heupel probably went into South Dakota and got the only real football prospect.
You're right. He probably did. Like,
it's probably, I'm looking around. Oh, it's that guy. I've searched the whole state. I'm going to get that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the football players on South Dakota State probably aren't even from South Dakota. Okay, so like, I
guarantee you that 90% of their roster is not.
Yeah, so this guy's from South Dakota. You think Josh Heupel probably has a bit of a connection. This guy, I'm looking it up now. So Josh Heupel is from Aberdeen, South Dakota. This guy is from Viborg, South Dakota, which, just to pull it up, just in case you guys are curious, are both on the eastern portion. Aberdeen's on the north end, northeast South Dakota. Viborg is southeast South Dakota. But you guys also have to remember these giant square states are huge. So, like, you can be like 12 hours from somebody in the same state.
Yeah. Let's anybody else?
Those are the main ones. Now, I think the main one they're going to target, the two ones to watch out for are Malik Benson and Amari Jefferson. Honestly,
Malik Benson. Does anybody remember the television show Benson? Do you remember the television show? Is that before your time?
And by the way, breaking news. Yes, Washington State did land Angel Johnson. I missed that. I apologize. I should have corrected myself. They did, but I do not remember that television show. So coming down to it, Amari Jefferson and Malik Benson is who they want to go after.
All right. So, but they're going to get more. There are more names out there that we don't know yet, right? I mean, they're not going to be okay with 3 portal signees.
No, they're not done. They're not done. They're going to load up. Don't worry.